Hey, and welcome to the next chapter. So, we're going to be looking at solids and modern materials in this chapter. And I think this is really awesome. So, for instance, take an element like carbon. I mean, you might think, well, carbon's just carbon, right? But the way the atoms are arranged depend entirely upon the properties of the bulk material. So, for instance, if they're arranged in sheets that are sort of hexagonal rings that are one layer on top of another, you've got something called graphite. And graphite is quite soft, I suppose. You can go ahead and you can scratch and leave black marks along the page with graphite. So that's the active ingredient in pencil leads. Whereas if you arrange the atoms in this tetrahedral geometry, you get yourself something diamond, one of the strongest materials known to mankind. So exactly the same atoms, but the way they're arranged completely affect their properties. We can also take carbon, and actually these are allotropes that were discovered not too long ago in the grand scheme of things, and you can go ahead and you can have these sheets. Essentially, you can take a graphite sheet, and it's called graphene, and it has these amazing properties, and so it's incredibly conductive and has amazing electronic properties, and so it's possible that in the next 10, 20, 30 years, a lot of our electronics will move over to graphene. And you can also take these sheets and roll them up into what we call tubes or nanotubes, and there's various different designs here. So here's a multi-wall one, here's a single wall. These are things that make steel look like wet paper towel in comparison. So you can have immensely strong fibers, so strong that in fact people have been figuring out ways to spin them into cables and attach them to satellites in outer space. And when you want to go to outer space, instead of having a rocket to launch you up there, you can basically just winch yourself up this cable to space. So this is hopefully a little bit of interest to get your appetite whetted for this chapter.